Hello, YouTube vinyl community. I'm Jeff Harris, and welcome to the Vinyl Record Info channel. And in today's episode, we got another year in music. So I'm going to do 1969, which was an awesome year in music. I mean, it was so good. Uh, Going through all of these, like going through some of the records I have from '69, I didn't realize like how many artists or bands like put out more than one record in the same year. I mean, I think CCR put out like 3 records in the same year, which just seems crazy to me. I mean, it's just like you don't see that as much in later years, and I feel like you definitely don't see it much now. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys were very prolific in 1969. It was very cool to see that. I just don't think I ever realized that. But yeah, I got a good stack of records here from 1969. I think it like kind of you know does the spectrum of '69, kind of like good time capsule of what that year had to offer. But it was an amazing year. And to start things off, I'm going to do a Who Tommy. Now, I waited to get this one until I could find a really, really clean one. I wanted a clean one of this because you can find these pretty easily, but to get a very clean one like this, it's getting harder and harder to find just because it's such a popular record. It's really great. Um, so people either keep hang on to their really clean ones, or they just played them a lot. And this is a really clean one though. I was happy to find this. Yeah, but like Pinball Wizard on here, incredible. All right, this is the Soft Machine Volume 2. I've showed Volume 1 a couple times on this channel, but uh, this is another great one. I don't think it's as good as the self-titled first one with that die-cut wheel, but this one's really, really great too. I like this one a lot. This is also a promo copy, which is very cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just promo copy on Probe. But yeah, it's still fantastic. I just like the first one a little bit better, but another great one there. All right, this is Santana, self-titled on that Columbia 2i. But you guys have all heard of Santana. I actually found this one kind of recently at a like a antique booth that had like a big antique store, but has like all the various different like booths of sellers. And there was one that had a decent amount of records, and this was in there. So I snagged it because it's in pretty decent shape. The cover is a little worn. I mean, it's like a little dirty, but like the vinyl itself is really nice. So I was able to snag a good deal on that one. All right, this is a Blue Cheer, new, improved. So this is a really cool Blue Cheer album. Um, I've showed Vis Vis Eruptum, a million times, but side 2 on here is all by Rainey Holden on there, which is very, very cool. I've showed, Population 2 from Rainey Holden, which is like, I have a reissue of it because the originals of it are just crazy expensive and very, very hard to find. They're probably all going over for $1,000 at this point. But Randy Holden, unbelievable guitar player, and this was kind of like his foray in Blue Cheer. And there's a long story about him leaving the band, but basically lots of disagreements with the management and money and personalities and whatnot. So he kind of went off and did his own thing. But this one has Randy Holden on it, which is very cool. Actually got this one in on Coronado Island when I was in the Navy. There was this small. It was really an antique store, but it was had a decent record selection. It was kind of a smaller place, but like one wall was basically a bunch of records, and I found this one in there. Uh, if you know anything about Coronado Island, it's like one of the most, you know, expensive places probably per capita, especially home prices like that. So everything in the shop was pretty expensive, but I found this one for a good deal at least. But it was pretty cool because the owner, he was the brother-in-law of Jim Morrison from the Doors. So he like married his sister. So very cool. All right, this is David Bowie, Man of words, man of music, absolutely fantastic. I was looking for this one for quite a long time before I was able to find a nice, clean one at a good price because these are kind of on the rare side. But yeah, it's got Space Oddity on it, one of my favorite David Bowie songs. Uh, really, really great early David Bowie, 1969. So good. So either my second favorite or favorite Rolling Stones album. This is Let It Bleed. This is an original U.S. press on that London label. This one's crazy clean. I was super pumped to get this one. But yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I'm in between this and Beggar's Banquet as my favorite Rolling Stone album. It's close. I don't know. I'll go back and forth every day. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I love this album a lot. Let It Bleed, absolutely fantastic. And you know, again, another one of these that are getting harder and harder to find. Very clean every day, but this one is in great shape. All right, so this is Led Zeppelin. They came out with two albums in 1969. Came out with Led Zeppelin 1 in January of 69 on the Atlantic label there. Awesome. Started it off. And then I think in October of 1969 came out with Led Zeppelin 2. I think I like Led Zeppelin 2 a little bit more than 1. I don't know what my favorite Led Zeppelin album is at this point. I go back and forth so much. This is up there. I really like this one a lot. But also Physical Graffiti. I don't know. It's hard for me to decide actually. But, you know, awesome. Another band that came out with two awesome albums in 1 year. I mean, that's pretty incredible. This is an RL hot mix press of that on the Atlantic label there. It's got RL and the Dead Wax, but yeah, really, really great record. All right, this is Joe Cocker, self-titled. Um, Another one that came out with two albums in the same year. This is with a little help from my friends. Uh, you know, both on A&M Records. Or these are your first U.S. presses. But if you have not seen him sing with a little help from my friends during Woodstock, like there's video of it, go ahead and YouTube that because, I mean, what a performance. I mean, that would have been very cool to be there at Woodstock and see Joe Cocker perform that. That would have been nuts. I would have loved to have seen that because the performance was crazy. SNL did like a excuse me. SNL did like a parody of it or something like that. I think Jim Belushi played Joe Cocker. It was hilarious, but I would really like to see that. All right, this little guy's peeking up here. What is it? So this is King Crimson in the Court of the Crimson King. So good. I mean, just a prog monster. Again, another one of these that like I would say I would recommend this album for anybody trying to expand their horizons outside of the classic rock scope again to getting themselves into prog. This is a great way to start. It's not too crazy out there, but absolutely fantastic. 21st Century Schizoid Man, it's pretty famous because it was sampled by Kanye West, but this whole album is awesome. If you are just dipping your toes into prog, or you're interested in prog, this is a good one to start with. King Crimson and the Court of the Crimson King, very very good. All right, so this is Fleetwood Mac, English Rose. Now this is Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, so it's kind of earlier Fleetwood Mac. This is a first U.S. press on that Epic label. Very cool stuff. But yeah, another great one. I like Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac a lot. So you think Fleetwood Mac, you probably think Rumors and stuff like that, but this is a lot more like blues rocky, I would say, heavier blues influence, and you can really hear it in that. But and then unbelievable guitar. But I mean, you know, this is up there for I think one of the best Fleetwood Mac records. All right, so one of my favorite bands, CCR, came out with three albums in 1969. Came out with Bayou Country. This is the first U.S. press on that Fantasy label. Bayou Country, which is awesome. Got that Born on the Bayou song. Green River, another unbelievable one. This is another first press on that Fantasy label. Green River, Commotion. I mean, incredible album. And then they had Willie and the Poor Boys. So I mean, uh, Down on the Corner is kind of, I mean, one of their staples is on this album. It Came Out of the Sky, Cotton Fields. This one is so good. 3 albums in 1969. I didn't really realize that until I pulled some records for this video, and I mean that's crazy. It makes sense because like they do have a decent amount of albums in their discography. They're probably close to like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 albums probably that they put out, like studio albums, and they only, I think they put those out between like 1968 and like 72 or something like that. So they had to put out some albums pretty quickly, I guess. But yeah, to have that many records in their discography. This is Beatles, Abbey Road. This is a first UK press on that Green Apple label. Awesome record. This is one of my favorite Beatles records for sure. You know, I always say like I'm usually in between this and the White Album is my favorite. This is very, very close though. It's hard to tell. That probably changes by the day what my favorite Beatles album is, but love this one a lot. Go YouTube or go Google like all the different mysteries within the album cover. Um, you know, pretty interesting if you're into the conspiracy theory stuff. All right, so this is Bubble Puppy, A Gathering of Promises. This is an original U.S. press on that International Artist label. You know, anything on this label is pretty fantastic. It's Texas. They specialize kind of like in Texas hard rock and psych groups, but really, really great. The Bubble Puppy. If you ever heard of Demian, this it's basically the same band, but I like this album a little bit better than Demian. It's so good. I mean, just great blues rock, tinge of psych, but it's more on the hard rock side for sure. Um, yeah, man, this record is so great. This one too is In the Shrink, near mint. I mean, you can't. It'd be very difficult to find a better copy than this one. This is beautiful In the Shrink, unbelievable. All right, the last one I'm going to show you is AB Sky. So this is a first US promo. You got the little DJ sticker right there, and then it's on that really cool yellow MGM Pro label. I love the yellow labels for the promos, but very, very cool stuff. This is from the Voice of America collection, which I've talked about a bunch, but uh, absolutely fantastic. This is great, like it's blues rock, but it's also a little funky. Like it's got some funk to it, you know, and just like tinges. It's not a funk album. This is a rock and roll album for sure. It's a blues rock album, but it's got some funk in it, and I think they do it in a really cool way. It's not overpowering. It's not like, you know, it. If you like funk, you're gonna like this record. If you like rock, you're gonna like this record. You know, it does it in a good way. I like AB Sky. I got a couple of their albums, but yeah, this is really, really great stuff. Highly recommend. It's just a little bit, not a lot of people have talked about AB Sky, and a lot of people haven't even heard of it. Again, it's another one. If you've been listening to a lot of classic rock and you're looking to venture into something a little bit new, check this band out because it's just a little bit different sound than you're gonna get in your straight down the middle classic rock stuff. It's a little bit different. Kind of open up your horizons a little bit. Highly recommend checking this band out. All right, that's gonna do it. That's my stack of 1969 records. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what I missed, what I should have from 1969 that I don't. I didn't pull every 1969 record out, but these are the ones that I felt like kind of encapsulated the whole year, very well rounded type thing. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys think about 1969 and what records I need to get from 1969 because I'm sure there's a bunch out there. All right, so next episode, I'm going to continue on with the series. It's going to be 1970. An incredible year. We're getting in the early 70s now for rock and roll. I mean, it doesn't get any better than the early 70s for rock. It just does not. So, I mean, 70 to 74, 75. Whoo, those were some good years for rock and roll. So, I appreciate it. go ahead and please at least hit the thumbs up. But I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. That way you can watch the whole series and watch all the rest of my YouTube videos. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.